A hilarious new stand-up special from comedy legend Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, is coming to Hulu November 22nd. This Thanksgiving, see Jim in a whole new light as he gives you the inside scoop on everything from parenting teenagers to weight loss and gaslighting family members. For everyone in need of a happy hour, the new hilarious stand-up special, Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, premieres November 22nd, streaming on Hulu.
The holidays are all about sharing with family. Meals, couches, stories, grandma's secret pecan pie recipe. And now you can also share a cart with Instacart's family carts. Everyone can add what they want to one group cart from wherever they are. So you don't have to go from room to room to find out who wants cranberry sauce, or whether you should get mini marshmallows for the yams, or collecting votes for sugar cookies versus shortbread. Just share a cart, and then share the meals and the moments. Download the Instacart app and get delivery in as fast as 30 minutes, plus enjoy free delivery on your first 3 orders. Service fees and terms apply.
Ask me, ask Iliza anything. It's time to ask. Ask me all your questions. Leave them in the Instagram comment section. Leave them on your Twitter or leave them on your Facebook. We'll see them, we'll read them, then we'll give you answers. You know it, I've got it. I've got the answer, you ask me. I'll tell you anything. Well, we are late to the video party, fashionably late. And I will say I've been begging to come to this party for quite some time.
Okay.
And because you don't like change, you're like, man, I'll get to it. But here we are. Here's my face. Here's me putting on like a little bit of concealer in the middle of the day to bring you a podcast.
Oh, hold on. They're not getting the full face. They're getting a piece of face. That's too advanced for us.
It's not going to be like just it's going to be my face.
But it's going to be
put on
30
concealer.
seconds. We're not giving them 60 minutes of video. People
That's because you don't want to.
Because
you don't like change.
Because that's too complicated. We're doing what we can do.
I would like to start today's episode by addressing, first of all, we had an incredible 300th episode. We did a live audio and visual taping at the Sirius Studios. We're going to be doing more of them. I have a lot of plans for this. The audience was incredible. And I would like to say that I went through one of the clips that we posted. Now, Emily, can you please tell people where this will be available visually? Because
Sirius
you would not chime in.
app. We will be posting when it is available. It will be the entire video, entire episode, multiple camera angles. They did a great job producing that, like putting together all the live pieces.
Who knows? Maybe everybody has the Sirius app, and I mean, it's obviously a huge platform. So yeah, but that is for now where it will be available. It was so great to be back in the room with you and Scott, who I totally forgot to introduce. But we're going to be doing more of this because I think people really want to see me with like a little bit of concealer and sunscreen on a Sunday. Though I will say I did flat iron my hair last night before my show, and it has stayed. So if I can't stop touching it, it's because I'm not used to it looking this perfect.
Okay, but also people listening, this podcast is 90% audio. There will be a small piece of video. It will be enjoyable. You will not see everything Iliza refers to now that she is excited that there's a camera.
That's fair. I do want to say people were excited. Some people had never seen you before, and
they were shocked. I don't know what they expected, but they were shocked.
I was showing someone pictures on my phone, and I was like talking about how I cut my hair, and people were like, your hair looks incredible. And I was like, no, my hair looks fine. Like it looks normal. She goes, well, it's thin. I'm like, it's not thin. It's fine hair. And it looks, and then I swipe to a picture of you, and out of nowhere they go, she has a lot of hair.
Yeah. It's very hot in here. It's all his hair.
Well, you're in Atlanta. You're in Georgia.
Would you be shocked if I came in with a fully shaved head?
Yeah, I would. I'd be like, oh, good. You're finally getting some sort of treatment. No, I would think there was something wrong with you.
Right.
People, yeah. There's different kinds of shave. There's shaved, like you can tell when someone shaved it because they're sick versus they shaved it because it's like, fuck the patriarchy versus I'm having a mental breakdown.
The sides. And then just have the middle.
Just the sides, like that alt-right name we don't say anymore, Richard Spencer haircut. Anyway, so here we are. We're bringing you this episode. There was an assassination attempt on Donald Trump this weekend. And I think it just proves that we are a country that cannot even get an assassination right.
Okay.
So
we're not.
Okay.
Okay. I don't need the government coming
by the way,
you.
I don't think the government, I think the government's a little busy.
They're not queuing up every episode of AIA. Like, let's see what we need to check in on.
But we have this podcast.
We do.
We have this podcast, and we have our call-ins. We have our questions, and we have our fight me's, and I'm feeling feisty. What?
I'm excited. We have a very interesting follow-up. I was making a little face.
I love a follow-up.
Well, this is actually, I think this is a first. We've had people reach out before like, hey, put me in touch with this other person because I've experienced it or I'm a therapist or whatever. And I will connect them after asking the first person. Do you remember we had the question asker who they have a cousin who is trans who came to their wedding. So then their like aunt and uncle gave them like a hateful donation as a gift.
That's right. So for those of you that don't remember, the hateful donation was made to like a Christian charity that's like vehemently against like gay and trans everything.
Yeah.
And it was in their name. And then when our when our question askers called the charity to be like, can we get our name scrubbed? They were like, oh, nothing was ever made in your name, which means either they're terrible at bookkeeping and it was, or B, your aunt and uncle did this like just to be spiteful and it was just like a pump fake.
But so either way, it was rude as hell. So we had another listener reach out and say, please forward this to our question asker, Josie and Steve, her husband. Attached is my wedding present to you both, a donation to the Trevor Project and Planned Parenthood, $50 each. I hope this brings some positivity into your lives. Please know that there are people who care about treating people like people. If this gets shared on AIA, I hope more people write in with donations. Kill them with kindness, people.
That is really kind.
Isn't that nice?
It's really nice. I love bringing people like that together. I sure would love to have seen some of that kindness post October 7th. But
all right. That is
all right. I'm just saying.
That is from Stephanie, who also messaged her friends about this wedding story, and they also made donations because the story hits close to home. So, Josie, writing in about your story, your shitty relatives are the reason that money has now been donated places that it matters. So, thank you for sharing.
Actual money, by the way.
Real money.
Actual money.
They included the receipts. I can see the receipts, so I know it's real.
It'd be so funny if they actually didn't do it. And they were like, we totally made a donation. I do think all of these political issues, like in their purest form, are things that rational people can get behind.
Yeah.
Never mind the idea that like your teacher is administering sex-altering drugs. Like at its core, I think we can all agree that if somebody is trans and needs like life-affirming care and acceptance, that's something the bulk of America can get on board with.
Mm-hmm.
And I think when we start to remove these things and put them on social media and they get sensationalized, that's where people get misunderstood. And that's across the board for any issue. So I love that our fans are the kinds of people that would reach out because I do think that is emblematic of the bulk of America is people that care.
Yeah.
And so in the exact opposite of that sentiment of helping each other, it's time for a fight.
Hi, Emily and Iliza. This Fight Me is specifically for Emily, who said that cheese should not be squeaky. As a native Wisconsinite, I am here to say, fight me. Squeaky cheese is the best cheese. Good old squeaky cheese curd. You should come up here to Wisconsin and try some, Emily. It'll change your mind about squeaky cheese. So fight me. I've said it here and now. Cheese deserves to be squeaky.
I would argue you were the one that was anti-squeaky cheese, Iliza. But I'm sharing this.
I don't remember this.
This is the first time someone has actually fought us about something. Usually we all agree with each other.
I, first of all, knew this person was from Wisconsin. The second they said cheese, the second they said squeaky cheese, only people from Wisconsin care about this, but I don't fight you. I would venture to say there are other types of cheese that could be squeaky so you can figure out freshness. But
figure out freshness.
I'm shocked you haven't had a cheese curd because a good deep fried cheese curd is an outstanding thing of beauty.
Yeah, I've had like a fried cheese curd as a side at Zaxby's. Yeah, but I feel like that's not what we're talking about.
It is. A cheese curd's a cheese curd, but I also think the squeakiness is pre-fried. It's not like you bite it and it's like, help. It's just like a little inner ear thing, but you're weird about your ears. So Emily's going to stay indignant and I'm going to say no fight.
No fight. Okay, perfect. Let's get into the questions.
I mean, it's bad enough to come from a place where they're like, our big thing is our cheese that squeaks. And the rest of the year, it's gray. And you have to talk about the Packers by law or you're sentenced to life in prison.
But then you get to wear cheese as a hat.
You do. I ate in that stadium and it's not just a hobby. It is a culture. It is a religion. I played a very empty arena in Green Bay once.
Really?
It was lonely.
Not your crowd?
Just wait, it's an arena, so even if you sell a few thousand tickets, it's still not full.
Yeah.
And it was a guarantee. And I was like, we're just gonna do this show to the best of our ability, buy a bunch of cheese at a roadside stand, get the hell out of Dodge. Fall has fallen, winter is on its way, the days are shorter. But just because, they feel shorter. And just because the days feel shorter doesn't mean your to-do list gets any shorter. You still have to power through your busy days. And a great way to do that is with nutritious food from Factor's no prep, no mess meals. At the end of a short day in the fall or the winter, the last thing you want to do is have to cook. Factor has got you covered from breakfast, snacks, dinner, anything in between. Factor has easy, nutritious options to keep you fueled, like their chicken Florentine with spinach and garlic chili cauliflower. You bet. That's what I want to make myself at the end of a day where I am exhausted and my husband isn't home. Whether you like routine or you enjoy mixing things up, Factor has you covered with 35 different delicious meals every week and over 60 additional convenience options you can add on, like keto cookies, pressed juices, and smoothies. And because Factor meals are chef prepared and dietitian approved, you're going to love not only Factor's meals taste, but also how they support your goals, even if your goal was just making yourself dinner. Head to factormeals.com/Iliza50 and use code Iliza50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month. That's code Iliza50 at factormeals.com/Iliza50 to get 50% off your first box, plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. The holidays are here. And for a lot of us, the holidays mean decorating, hosting, celebrating. For me, it means a lot of traveling. And nothing feels better year-round, but especially during the cozy holidays, than a restful night's sleep in soft, luxurious sheets. Boll & Branch's signature sheets are made with the finest 100% organic cotton, and they get softer with every single wash. You already know that I got Boll & Branch this summer when I needed breathable sheets to sleep in, but this holiday season, I'm actually gifting some of my friends and family Boll & Branch's Ultimate Softness Bundle. I get to choose a signature hem sheet set in any color, a signature hem pillow set, and a waffle bed blanket. And they're all getting juniper because I think it's a classy color. This way you know you have something nice to sleep on when you visit. It's the perfect gift for you and them. Gift you and your loved ones a better night's sleep with Boll & Branch. And right now is their best offer of the entire year. For 25% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets, head to bollandbranch.com/Iliza. That's Boll & Branch, BOLLAND branch.com/Iliza for 25% off. Limited time only, exclusions apply. See site for details. So finally, fall is here. I have been looking forward to it. I have had a hard year in a good way. I had a baby. I have been on a nonstop tour, nonstop traveling, and it's been hot. So I'm looking forward to, of course, pumpkin spice, everything, cooler weather, and slipping into a cozy sweater from Quince. I've talked about Quince before. Quince has beautiful leather jackets, cotton cardigans, soft denim, and so much more. All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Dressing expensive doesn't have to be expensive. Their clothing is beautiful, it's durable, it stands the test of time, and it's what I like to call a capsule wardrobe. I got an Italian wool cocoon coat. That's one of those, it's got like a European collar and it covers my butt so I can walk around New York City and not be chilly. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. Get cozy in Quince's high-quality wardrobe essentials. Go to quince.com/Iliza for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/Iliza to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Iliza.
All right. Hi, Iliza, Emily, and the whole crew. I'm a 26-year-old female family law attorney in Atlanta. Also, here's my friend application, Emily. My best friend since birth, Donna, our dads are best friends, and I slightly grew apart when I went to college and moved 8 hours away. But when I was in law school, we got super close again. Family drama, death, just started couples therapy. A lot of stuff has been going on recently that I've been telling my best friend. At a 4th of July party, she accidentally drunk butt dialed me. She'd called me earlier due to her family drama, and she was telling some people all of my drama and issues, speaking horribly about me. And to top it all off, she referred to my Persian boyfriend using a racist slur.
What's a racist slur for a Persian? I live in LA and I've actually never heard one.
I don't know. Yeah. Don't tell us though, anyone. Please don't start DMing us.
No, don't, because then as a comic, it'll get stuck in my head. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I answered because I thought something was wrong and hung up after a minute out of complete shock. I could tell I caught her in the middle of her conversation about me. She's texted me since and I haven't answered. Obviously, I'm shocked and hurt. I feel like I don't even know her anymore. I've been told that I should just stop answering her, but I feel like that's cruel. Should I send her a calm, concise text and officially cut ties, or should I just let the relationship naturally fizzle without talking to her again? For context, she still lives in North Carolina. I live in Atlanta. Our dads are best friends to this day. My dad was at this party. Much love to the pod. Congratulations on the sweet baby boy, Iliza. Can't wait to see you at the Fox, Sarah. And this is a real
First of all, Sarah,
name.
You missed the best opportunity to humble her and fuck with her, because what you should have done is texted her immediately and been like, heard the whole thing. Oh, good to know how you feel. And then she, drunk, would be like, oh my God, my night. Yeah. It was divine intervention that she happened to have butt dialed you while she was going on probably what was in the middle of a rant. There's no way it just started when that phone called you. I don't know why I can't talk today. I think I'm being tripped up by looking at my own image on this camera.
You have a camera. We've always had a camera and we've recorded to talk to each other. I have thousands of files of our Zoom recordings.
Okay, well, get rid of them. Nice try. You're going to blackmail me because I said something shitty and I said, cut it. Yeah, right. I better keep you. That's how you make friends. You're like, I got something over you. Stay my friend. Stay my friend. I have your real thoughts on recycling.
I have your social security number, and I would guess your alarm code and your email password. So I'm not worried.
Dude. I'm like, they're going to know. And then I'm like, they don't know mine.
No, I haven't said any of them out loud.
I've changed them all to your name and your sister's name.
I would never figure it out.
I would never remember your sister's name. Okay, so you missed that opportunity. The only reason you would stay friends with this girl, look, the gift here is that you know what she actually thinks. Do we all have shitty thoughts about our friends? Yes. And any girl, actually men typically don't. They're like, he's my buddy and I don't think about him when he's not here.
Right.
Girls, there are women that are like, I'm sorry, I don't talk shit on my friends. It's like, no, but you think shitty things because we're human. And you can have a judgment that doesn't impugn the stability of your friendship. I can disagree quietly with how my friend treats her daughter or what my friend does or how they act, but that doesn't mean that the positive doesn't outweigh the negative. However, what you overheard was her airing out that laundry in front of everyone, talking shit about you, not defending you. You got pure distilled jealousy / hatred / I don't know. The question is, do you want to know more? Do you want, if she did apologize, would it matter? And the answer probably is no.
Yeah. There's nothing she could say. I find this very interesting because you say that she had called you earlier to talk about her drama. So this was such just displacing. She's like, well, I have all this bad stuff happening to me, but listen to what's happened to this other girl. I actually weirdly had something similar happen. It wasn't someone I was super close with, but someone
I'm sorry.
Someone I went to college with basically was having a super hard time adjusting. We had gone to high school together, and then in college, we weren't super close. And in college, they were having a hard time. I was killing it. I did very well freshman year, just crushing it in clubs, making friends, really all downhill from there. But I was fine. I was doing really well. So I would meet up with her for lunch. And then I heard from other people, she was telling other people, Emily's having a really hard time. I don't think she's really fitting in. She keeps coming to me. And the person was not someone close enough in my orbit that I felt the need to confront it, but I still will see them. And every time I think, what was going on with you that was your solve? This girl is trying to deflect. She's trying to get attention. She's trying to have a story to tell. It doesn't make it okay, but I don't think it's even as malicious as it sounds. I'm sure I've said horrible things about people that I love dearly. Just have something to say.
It is the bulk of the conversations I have.
Yeah.
Are about other people or about Emily. No, are about other people. Some people are just wired like that. This reminds me a little bit, and Emily's stories reminds me a little bit of that Dutch girl who had the like weirdo at work that was like, I'm worried about Helga, whatever her name was. And we were like, you're 6'4" in Dutch. Maybe she was German. I think she was Dutch. Just like tower over her and be like, do we have a problem? What you do is nothing. And if you want to really stick it to her, never tell her how you know what you know. This is like a mafia mob level mental messing with someone, a quadruple M. You just say, I know what you said that night, and let her think that all the friends she was confiding in betrayed her. You don't even say that. You just say, I know what you said. I know that you called my boyfriend a Persian cat.
That's the biggest problem is the racism. The talking about you is like, all right, but the racism is not good.
Well, it's not good, but it is and it isn't, because then it makes it about your boyfriend who you may or may not be with. Like, look, everybody says fucked up things, and that is racist. But if you just make it about the boyfriend, then we remove the truly important part, which is her saying horrific things about a lifetime best friend. So by no means should you make this just about the boyfriend. That's just like the shit on top of the garbage sundae.
Yeah.
You never, ever let her know how you know. Even if you guys make up, be like, I'm never telling you. And then she'll think twice about all the friends she has. Because she will, if you tell her what happened, she'll be like, no, you missed it. You missed the beginning of it. That's not what I said. I had somebody text me once something that they were texting. It wasn't that bad, but it was like, I think he called like me a bitch or something. And he texted to me thinking he was talking to someone. He was like, no, I was saying, and I was just like, peace.
My worst fear. Honestly, sometimes when I'm talking about people, I'm checking my phone to make sure it's not accidentally calling them. Like, it's not a good habit, but I have been there. I wouldn't be surprised if the question asker can't come back from that. There's not really a good excuse.
I guess the question is like, do you want to be friends with this girl?
Right. I mean, that's the main.
Like, what do you want? This is what I always, for our question askers, like, what do you want deep down? Apology won't matter, because it would have to be a full mea culpa. Like, I am going through a drug addiction withdrawal. I am so sorry. I am changing. But the gift is now you get to know how she actually feels. And we actually are so rarely bestowed this gift in life.
Yeah.
So good riddance. And I'm sure the fact that your dads are friends, who cares? Parents are friends all the time, and the kids are like dads that don't go together.
The dads do not care if their daughters are friends with each other.
Yeah, you know what men care the least about in this world? Female friendships. Kick it.
Hi, Lies and Crew. I've been listening to you for a few years now, and I love the pod and the advice that you give. My question is something that I have not heard you answer yet, and I'm wondering what your take on it is. Okay, let's see. I was in a relationship throughout university, and during the third year of our relationship, things were starting to go south. I think to save the relationship, my boyfriend at the time got my name tattooed on him without my knowledge. I was really unhappy when he got the tattoo because it felt like it was a violation. Shortly after we broke up, I ended things with him, not because of the tattoo, but because things had been declining for about a year at that point. Something that has been on my mind ever since then was whether or not he got my name removed or covered up. I've never actually asked him, but it's something that's been on my mind since then. This was in 2017. I'm now happily married, and he and his girlfriend just had a baby. He also had my lips tattooed on himself, which I guess I also want to know if he's covered up.
In a universe, like you guys, these are college people, and this is the move? In the middle of studying, you're like, I got to go do this super street thing.
Yeah.
Oy.
I don't really care whether he's lasered them off or covered them up. I just feel weird with another person walking around with my lips and name tattooed on them when we're no longer together. Should I reach out and ask him? Do I just let it go? What would Iliza do? You read my name. I don't really care. And I think this would be hilarious if I got back to him. Maybe he would reach out to confirm. So that's from Rebecca.
Oh, it should be easy to figure out because you're the only person named Rebecca. Let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go. It's a trashy thing that he did. I personally would love knowing yeah, that's right. Even though I broke your heart, my name's still on you. Think about it. You don't need to know. And I think you like the idea of thinking it's weird that someone has your name tattooed on them, but it really doesn't matter. If he still has it, that's going to be weird for you to find out because then what are you going to do? Now you definitely know. And if he doesn't, you're going to look crazy because you're just wondering if you still have it. Just making sure you didn't, even though I'm happily married, leave it alone. You would be weirded out if your husband reached out to his trash ex-girlfriend and was just making sure you don't have Biff still tattooed on your nips. You'd be why are you asking her? Leave it alone. It is an immature, nobody that's super intelligent gets someone's lips and name tattooed on them visible. It's not mentally where we are. So leave it alone because there's nothing to get from it. If he confirms that it's still there, then you're definitely going to feel weird. Nothing you can do about it. And if he doesn't, you're going to look crazy. So all signs lead to let it lie. And do what we all do the healthy move that all girls do, stalk him online until you get confirmation.
Wait for a bathing suit picture. Yeah, I think it's funny that you're oh, not that it bothers me, but I just love to know if it was on there because I would love if it wasn't on there. It bothers you. Yeah. And that's okay, but it has nothing to do with you at this point. His body, his choice.
There you go. And how accurate could that lip print be? It's not like an asshole where we each have an individual one and the government knows your asshole imprint. Next question.
Dear Iliza, Emily, Scotty, and the rest of the AIA crew, both furred and fleshed. I was introduced to
Don't describe my body or anyone I know that way.
Are you furred or fleshed?
First of all, the dog is made of fur and flesh. That's what the fur is affixed to. No one's just floating fur.
Or a floating flesh.
And
we're all bones.
I have hair.
All right. I think this is interesting because I haven't heard this before. I was introduced to your podcast through your appearance on Pod Crush. I've been listening all day. See, Iliza, podcast guest appearances work.
That's the Penn Badgley one,
yes.
Right?
Yes.
Very cool.
Yes. So I love that.
They were all very nice.
They're so nice.
And they were all so nice. And then they all told me that they were Baha'i. That's their religion.
Oh.
And when I asked to know a bit more about it, because all I know is that there's a Baha'i center. I think it's on La Cienega because I see it every time I go to the airport.
Yeah.
I couldn't really get an answer out of them. So then I had to go Wikipedia it. And that took 10 minutes.
See, we're all learning all the time.
But they were very nice. Those girls were lovely too. Anyway.
And this listener has been listening for months and is I finally caught up on the day your 300th episode dropped after 2.5 months. Listening to you talk has made me feel much less lonely during my work from home job.
Aw.
My boyfriend, 23, and I, female, also 23, are doing long distance for now. I live in the South and he lives on the West Coast. In the past year, I've gone to him once and he's come to me 3 times. So I feel like it's my turn to make the trek and I'm planning a visit in the fall. My predicament. I live in a townhouse with roommates but have my own room. So when he visits me, we have plenty of space, freedom, and privacy to catch up and reconnect. He, on the other hand, lives in a very small 2-bedroom apartment with his mom, sister, and brother. He shares a room with his brother. So, last time I visited, I slept on a cot in the room with the 2 of them, which was so awkward. This time I have a remote job and I already used up my PTO for the year. So unless I just go for the weekend, which doesn't feel worth it due to the travel time, I'll have to work while I'm there. That adds another layer of discomfort and awkwardness since my job is on Eastern time. So I'd have to start working at 6 a.m. PST while I'm there. And the only space to work would be in my boyfriend and his brother's bedroom or the small kitchen/living room that has very thin walls and their dog that barks like crazy at the sign of any movement. My solution is to get a hotel for the duration of the trip and ask my boyfriend to stay with me. My problem is that his mom
and ask my boyfriend's brother to stay with me.
We'll go off together, yeah. My problem
God, there's just a cat arm. Is that a leg or an arm?
A leg.
Is that cat petting you?
I think so. My problem is that his mom is very insecure about their finances and always trying to project wealth. I'm worried about offending her. She's made a lot of comments asking me when I'm going to visit again, saying she can't wait to host me. She's an Asian immigrant, single mom, and the last thing I want to do is make her feel like her son's white American girlfriend thinks that their living situation isn't good enough for her. But on the flip side, my boyfriend and I only get to see each other for a few days every 3 months, and I don't want to spend that time sleeping 3 feet away from his brother or feeling awkward or uncomfortable about putting them out while I'm working weird hours in their space. Should I just suck it up and stay with them for that time, or is there a good way to approach it with her without being unintentionally offensive? I always appreciate your wisdom on social graces. Thank you, Colleen.
I'm going to be honest. If she's an Asian mother, I think everything you do is going to offend her. This is about you working. And if you have to, I think if anyone's going to understand, it's going to be an Asian mother that you have to work. So have him talk to her because we will apply the rule of marriage here. It sounds like you're pretty serious about this guy because you're willing to do all of this, right? So let's say you're serious. Have him broach it to her. Be like, she's coming to visit, but she has so much work to do and she doesn't want to wake everyone up. So you come, you visit, she wants to make dinner, hang out at the house, but your sleep is very important to you. And also like, she's had children. She knows what sex is. Clearly you want to be intimate with this man.
Yes. No, you're right. I wonder if there's a way to pitch it as, look, it's not that I am staying somewhere else instead of your house. It's that I am the boyfriend and I are going for a little getaway, a little staycation together.
Yeah, the mother will understand that. It would be different if you came over and you said the food was bad or you didn't invite her. You can still go over to the apartment, but she should understand. And if she doesn't, then this is a greater issue that is definitely not going to subside once you get married. It has nothing to do with how much money they have or anything. By the way, they could have a house. And there could be reasons you don't want to stay there. You are spending the money to go visit. You have to look out for your dollar and your peace of mind and your peace. So do that. Have him bring it up and never talk about it again. She shouldn't. That's a crazy thing to be offended about.
Yeah. No, I agree. But I understand where she's coming from. She seems very thoughtful. I get it. But
sure. So bring her a gift.
Brother?
Come over. Bring her a gift. Come over for dinner. You know, that's fine.
Yeah.
She doesn't need you sleeping 5 feet away from her.
Yeah.
And I don't believe in like testing to see like this is a good test, but this is a good test to see long-term in a relationship and in a marriage, how he stands up for you.
So I don't believe in testing to see something, but this is a good test to see.
Meaning like, I don't believe in deliberately being like, and I'm going to test him to see how he has my back. Like, no, but it is good. This is what a relationship before marriage is all about. Like seeing, is this compatible? Does he say like, she's this white Western bitch who really wants to make you feel bad? Or is he like, Mom, I really want to spend the weekend with her. I need you to understand this.
Right. We want to touch each other's bodies without my brother watching.
Just because, I mean, you don't know what they came from. They could have come from wealth and then they moved to America like a lot of immigrants and had to severely downgrade. But you don't know if she would be unkind in the response. So there are some projections here. Mitigate it the best you can by letting him handle it.
Yeah.
It's bad enough you're going to be flying coach across the country to then come to LA, probably during the hottest season, and be in a crammed apartment. Like, is this what you'll do for love? Great. But that doesn't mean you can't afford like at least 8 hours of some nice sleep, a little bit of sex without his mother there. Come on now.
A hilarious new stand-up special from comedy legend Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, is coming to Hulu November 22nd. This Thanksgiving, see Jim in a whole new light as he gives you the inside scoop on everything from parenting teenagers to weight loss and gaslighting family members. For everyone in need of a happy hour, the new hilarious stand-up special, Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, premieres November 22nd, streaming on Hulu.
Everybody sleeps, but no two people sleep alike. At Coop Sleep Goods, we celebrate the way you sleep differently. We believe everyone deserves a great night's sleep with their own pillow, and the adjustable, customizable Coop pillow makes it easy. Whether you're a side sleeper, back sleeper, or even a starfish, we've got the perfect pillow for you. Crafted with our innovative memory foam and microfiber fill, our hypoallergenic pillows adjust to you, not the other way around. Just tailor the fill for the perfect fit. Add some in, take some out, until your pillow's just right for you. See why luxury hotels and spas worldwide feature Coop Sleep Goods and why we have tens of thousands of 5-star reviews. With our 100-night risk-free trial, you've got nothing to lose, except those sleepless nights. Get up to 50% off selected items during our Black Friday Cyber Monday sale when you visit coopsleepgoods.com/comedy. That's COOP sleepgoods.com/comedy.
Hi, Liza and Emily, longtime listener, second-time writer. I wrote for Vice in June of 2020, and my life looked very different at the time. Last I wrote, so that was 4 years ago. Oh my God. Last I wrote, I was in thank you for sticking around. I was in a long-term relationship with my college boyfriend in my mid-20s and trying to navigate my feelings over his desire to move to another city and away from me for work. About a year later, he proposed in my grandparents' backyard, and in April 2022, I called off our engagement just 6 months before our wedding. I received an Instagram message from a woman who he had been seeing and sleeping with for 6 months behind my back, and nothing in our 7 years of being together could repair the damage. She even met my dog while I was out of town under the guise he was just watching her for a friend.
Watching that girl for a friend? Okay.
Now, over 2 years and many therapy sessions later, I am dating someone new who I love very much and see a future with down the line. When looking into the
can I just say one thing before I forget it? Can I just say one thing? Mm-hmm. When I dated the psychopath that I wrote the movie about, his friends who were not liars, and I left this scene out of the movie where I met the friends and they were a little bit weird. They were like, yeah, we'd met your dog before. And even though they had done nothing wrong, just the idea that I had left the love of my life, Blanche, with this psycho who did take care of her, but had this whole other experience with these people I didn't know and this other dog that they owned that I didn't know. The idea that I'd left part of my heart with him and he was lying to me.
Yeah.
In a weird way that it rattles you to your core. And I can't imagine that this guy was that means your dog saw them having sex and this guy was cheating on you and called you a friend. That's all so awful. That's not what this question's about, but that's horrible. The dog part makes it worse, as most tragedies are exacerbated by the involvement of a dog.
True.
Okay.
Now, over 2 years and many therapy sessions later, I am dating someone new who I love very much and see a future with down the line. When looking into the next step of my relationship, I find myself being anxious at the idea of ever getting engaged again. I already had an engagement party, did the excited social media post, bought a dress, and had every detail carefully selected. The shitty thing is, I liked what I had chosen. The colors, the ring, location, dress style. When I'm ready for this next chapter, do I just treat it like a do-over? Do I do all the cliches again and just expect those who love me will be happy for me? Or do I just quietly elope somewhere? I wish I didn't care what others thought, and many in my life know what happened to end my last engagement. At the same time, I don't want to feel a judgment of, oh, she's engaged again? Please help. Yes. So excited to see you in Lincoln, Kansas? Canada? CA? California?
California. It's California.
Lincoln, California.
It is unclear where that is.
I treated myself to an early Christmas gift since the show's in December and bought front row seats forever, your loyal listener, Kenzie.
Kenzie, I love that. Listen to me. I hate to do this to you girls, the only person who would ever say, ugh, she's engaged again is a bitter, jealous woman. Sorry. And they could also be married and just be shitty. The idea that in your 20s, which even as you were saying all this, I was shocked that he proposed. And the second you're he moved away from me, it's a wash. Your whole 20s, all those relationships are a wash. These are all learning experience. And thankfully, you did learn something. And you learned about yourself and your intuition and what you won't put up with. And you got away from him. Congratulations for not marrying this guy. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. If you've been married 3 times before, and married matters a little bit. People were all right, whatever. But the idea that you were going to get married, in your early 20s and you didn't, and now you're a little bit older, and who cares? You aren't engaged to this guy yet. You're just dating, correct?
Correct. I think she's thinking about what are the next steps.
Right. I think you're putting the cart before the horse. But let's say this guy proposed yesterday and you're getting married, okay? Only you know what was picked out. And if that's your taste, then that's your taste. And if it's a dress that you love, you can always look at it like this dress was always meant for the guy you're about to marry. And maybe it took that mistake with that guy to get to this guy. You know, it's not like an engagement ring where that ring was picked out for that girl because of her taste and he bought it. Now he's trying to give it to you. This dress was picked out for you and your taste. No woman buys a wedding dress like, well, my husband loves lace. Like, it's just for you. It's one of the purest, most self-indulgent things we do as women is pick out the wedding dress. It's what you and your mom want. So don't worry about that. I cannot tell you if you should elope or have a wedding because that is a personal preference. But don't not do all the things that are part of your God-given right as a woman who's excited about getting married simply because you think people won't be happy for you. Those people should not be invited to your wedding. If this is the person that you love, this might be your last wedding. So do the things that you want to do as long as they feel good. That's it. Always check in with yourself. Like, do I really want to be doing this? And if it's scary because the answer is yes and you're afraid of judgment, you need to get over that. Because you will look back on this. If you wanted a wedding and you wanted a bachelorette party and you didn't do it, you'll regret it. And you'll be like, I wish I had that special thing. The idea that you would quietly elope out of like some weird shame or embarrassment because you made a mistake that you rectified in your 20s is crazy. Only women are taught to be this type of insecure. Men don't think about this or weddings. So do exactly what makes you happy. And it doesn't matter. Even if you had married that guy and gotten a divorce, it doesn't matter. There's no limit on the amount of chances you get to get it right.
Yeah.
That's
Good
like
work.
saying, I loved Blanche so much and now I have a new dog. Should I even bother making my life about her and creating an Instagram page and making up a whole language? Of course. I should do all those things. Richard Machine, Martin Bashir.
All right. I have a question in a similar vein from the man. Hi, Liza and Emily. I'm a straight 35-year-old male with a dilemma. I saved up over a couple of years enough money to buy a nice engagement ring for my girlfriend. She said yes, but sadly it ended a few months later on as good terms as you could get, and she gave me the ring back. This was a few years ago, and I've since met someone else who I'd like to pop the question to. My question for you guys is, I saved so much money for the last ring. I will never be able to sell it for close to what I paid for it. My new girlfriend will like the style of it, and she has never seen it before. She knows I was engaged in the past, but has never seen the ring. Would it be wrong to use the same ring to propose? She won't know it's been used before, and I'm sure she'll like it. Plus, it saves thousands of dollars in a struggling economy. Thanks, Anonymous.
Honestly, I'm a little bit of a scumbag, and I would say just do it.
I say no.
Oh, I mean, look. If you can't get, I don't know why you can't get close to what you paid for it. Part of me is telling you paid like triple markup retail for that. Like, I don't know if you like went to Tiffany's versus like the downtown jeweler that I went to. First, I would try. I would go to like the super Hasidic part of your downtown jewelry section, and I would try to trade in that diamond or that gold or something. Can you
trade it?
Or trade it toward the price, or can you redesign it? Can you take that ring to your I'm all about downtown jewelry districts, to a designer and say, and ask her what she likes? Because she may be like, oh my God, I hate gold. I'd love platinum. I don't know. Can you get it redesigned?
Yeah.
That way it technically isn't the same ring, but technically is.
I don't think the problem's the money, although I don't think it's wise to spend a
Sounds like it is.
Massive amount.
Sounds
Okay.
like it is the problem.
It's part, I think the reason I would not do this is not because of the money. I would not do this because you clearly have associations with your ex with this ring. Because she'll never know. You'll know.
But
every
it doesn't,
time you
I don't
see
think it bothers him. I don't think it bothers him. And you know what? You will not really think about it past this. I'm just saying.
He said twice she didn't know.
I think he's just like letting us know. Are you someone who's good at swallowing a dirty little secret? Or is this going to come out one night over drinks? Is she the kind of woman that would be okay with it? Is it that much money? Is it money you can earn back? Like, I don't know your finances and I don't know how much of a markup you paid on this ring. I say go with my idea of getting the ring reconstructed. So you just have the materials. Yeah. But you have to ask yourself deep, deep, deep down, and I'm not saying there's a right or wrong answer. Would you be okay giving this ring? Chances are you're not a jewelry designer and you maybe would gravitate toward the same type of ring either way. So was the ring something that your fiance, your past one, picked out, loved, was obsessed with? Or is it just a pretty ring that you picked and surprised her with? You know, because I think there's a difference there. But the question is, deep down, if you're okay with it and you'll never say anything and you can keep a dirty secret and you're the kind of person that you could bury a body with and you would never say anything, then I say do it. But if there's a tinge of doubt, at least just go get it reconstructed. And I would like to think that a woman that you love would understand the financial burden and how expensive that ring is. And she would love that you like took those things and rearranged them just for her. But like, you're not made of money. And do you want to buy a house? Do you want to start a life together? And if you're not, if you don't have a ton of money, then this is a great way to start off a life together.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never been in that situation, but I wonder, it's like if you meet a girl and you get married and you get a divorce and you get to keep the house and then you meet a woman and she moves in, is she like, well, that house was someone else's, so I want a new house? Like, these things are expensive.
No, but if she had picked out all the art and stuff, it would be like, okay, I'm going to get some of my art in here.
Right. But I don't think this fiance picked out that ring. I think he picked it. And even if she did, rearrange it, see if you can trade a diamond in for something. Maybe this woman loves fucking moonstones. Who knows?
I would love if it was hideous because he's just like, I picked it out. She liked it. My new girlfriend will definitely like it. And it just like looks like
it's
a class ring or something.
Oh my God, like a Super Bowl ring with like a pear cut diamond jutting out the top.
Yeah.
I like my rearrange idea. I would also visit your downtown jewelry district and see what can be done.
Yeah.
Because you should spend a little bit of money, but there's no reason to spend all of your money. So.
Not thousands. Absolutely not. No, not again.
Never again.
Hi, Iliza, Emily, and Co. I've always appreciated your skilled gift giving. So I have a question along those lines.
Why do people think this about me? I don't know where I got this reputation.
Because you have you're very logical. You have a thoughtful way of like A to B. Like, okay, this person did this. What's like a good gift? So
it really comes out of laziness. It comes out of laziness. Because like when we go to a kid's birthday party, I was like, we all have the same crap from Amazon. So here's a bottle of wine. That's nice that we had. And it's for mommy and daddy. And I didn't have to go to the store to buy anything else. Okay.
I have a question along those lines. I recently had a crazy miscarriage situation where I ended up having a very rare and complicated situation called a molar pregnancy. If you want a rabbit hole to go down, there you go. Most of my doctors around here in Salt Lake City didn't seem very confident because it's so rare. Needless to say, I was freaking out about this. I was introduced to a researcher / MD from Dana-Farber Hospital at Harvard who immediately called me and made himself available to answer my doctor's questions whenever needed, even before he had to go into surgeries. Needless to say, I am forever grateful. I'm not his patient, and he's getting none of my money. He's just taken this on as a service project. I want to send a gift to say thank you. I feel like you're the person to ask about this. You always have the best gift answers. Any ideas for me? Thank you, Angie.
Can you get that tumor sent to you and have it put into like some sort of composite? You know how you can take ashes and like have it made into like a diamond or like a ring? And it's, it's still made of body parts. Can you do that with, they have services where you can take like breast milk and have it made into a stone that you wear to like remember your breast milk expression journey. Could you have part of the tumor made into some sort of piece of jewelry? He's a man, so he doesn't want flowers. Yeah. An edible arrangement is always like an expensive, funny gift to give that like you give ironically, but like it actually is like low-key delicious. I think a really thoughtful letter and a card will mean a lot because it's you can't be like, and here's a gift card for 2 to the Applebee's by the airport. Like you can't really put a financial amount on it. And a gift basket seems like a little weird, but remember he is a guy. And so it's weird to be like, and here's a daisy cake from Shark Tank. So unless you want to like do some real digging about this guy, I mean, it could be cute if you looked up, I did this once for someone. I looked up where they had moved to like this obscure town and I looked up the local coffee shop and I bought a gift card to that coffee shop. So you could frame it as like, I'm sure like this cost you a lot of like valuable, precious time. Here's a gift card to that place by your campus or wherever it is, like to get back some of your energy for like donating time or something cute like that. That way it's like, look, this makes your life easier. here's $100 gift card for coffee. Something that like shows a little bit of thought versus like a refillable Amex that you bought at Costco that has like $50 on it.
I would also say, this is a case where maybe a donation goes a long way.
That's
Because
nice.
if you're writing a nice note and then you include a donation, I would imagine maybe he works with a lot of women who have gone through this. Maybe there's some sort of organization that's looking into research on this, basically supporting his work in some way. That's kind of just a tangible, nice thing.
But I definitely say write a short, heartfelt card, just explaining what that meant. Because I think people keep those kinds of things. And that's it. If you know something personal about him, do not get him like a gift, like, and here's a new 9-iron, but something small that makes their life a little bit easier. Nothing that they have to deal with. No, like go online and type in your email for this promo code. Like just, here's a thing, simple. No. And the truth is, even though I made fun of it at first, delivering a beautiful note with flowers, men don't get flowers. I saw the sad thing. There's like men only get flowers once in their life and it's at their funerals. That could be nice too, to spruce up his office. And it's very feminine too. So there's that.
Or when you have a baby, name it after him.
God, is his name like Gordon?
That's Alf's name.
Here's my baby, Dr. Johansson.
We didn't feel it was respectful to use his first name and the baby's name.
I named my baby Steve Johansson, MD.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, the subject line of this email really spoke to me. Am I wrong to hate a 7-year-old? Hi, AA crew.
Next question.
I am a 30-year-old female, married with a baby, not a nurse, but I have a graduate degree. Context. My relationship with my dad. My relationship with my dad has been pretty rocky for the past 15 plus years after he cheated on my mom. And through a truly awful divorce, married his mistress with his new wife.
They have a 7-year-old and you don't like the kid. Okay. All right.
Hold on. With his new wife came her 2 children, which are the same age as my sibling and I. Despite my father's attempt to sweep his wrongdoings under the rug and make us all one big happy family, as adults, my siblings and I have no relationship with his wife's children. Moreover, I don't view my father's wife as my stepmother and do my best to try to be neutral during our semi-annual holiday encounters. My father's wife's daughter had a baby 7 years back and has been raising him as a single mother. In the beginning, she lived with my father and his wife rent-free, and they even bought her a car to help her. Finances are not an issue for my father. When I graduated from college and didn't have any solid...
Rich baby daddy again. Anyone here listen to Drake still? Are we allowed? All right, go ahead.
I don't think so. When I graduated from college and didn't have any solid professional plans lined up, I returned to find that my bedroom was turned into a nursery for the baby. Staying at my mom's house was not an option because she had taken on a roommate to ease her financial struggle, which was created by the divorce. Today, wife's sister frequently dumps her kid at my dad's house for up to a month at a time. And my father loves the opportunity to boast on Facebook about what a great grandfather he is. Last Christmas, he posted photos of his, quote, family, wife, wife's daughter, wife's daughter's son, and told us, biological daughter and son, how he bought the wife's daughter's son an expensive video game system. Fast forward, my son, his actual first biological grandson, was born. My mother graciously bought us a crib despite not having great finances, and my in-laws bought us like a million other things, including a $400 stroller system. From my father, my son received a baby bathrobe, arguably the most useless baby gift of all time, nearly a month after his birth. I finally told my dad that it bothers me that he calls wife's daughter's son his grandson. His response was, I'm sorry you feel that way. I know this kid is literally a child, but everything he represents to me sends me into a blind rage. Am I a monster for hating a 7-year-old? Is it me who needs therapy? Should I give up on trying to get my father to treat his actual grandson the way he deserves to be treated, i.e. showered with love and spoiled by his grandfather? Signed, anonymous, bitter daughter.
I get it. I don't blame you. Please do not be mean to the 7-year-old. As annoying as they might be, the kid, it's not the kid. Because if this were your sister's kid, you would just tolerate it because you are related by blood and you love them and whatever. It's what they represent. You do need therapy, but moreover, you need to be heard. And it is classic narcissist gaslighting, and it's not an apology, and we all know that. I'm sorry you feel that way. I don't understand why all the money in the world is available for them and not for you. And I would wonder, you've said, I go to these family events and I try to be cordial. Even though he is wrong and what he did was wrong, you might be paying the price for that because you are distant. And when you're there, you don't really want to be there. So your dad might kind of feel like, okay, well, I'm trying with this family event and she doesn't really want me in her life. When what you actually want to scream at him is, you ruined our family. I love you very much. And this is tearing me apart. And rather than atone for it and talk about it and try to make up for it, you're just deflecting and going the other way. And then he'll say, oh, so this is just about a gift. And it's not. It's not just about the gift. It's what you did that I cannot forgive you for. So that's where you have to do therapy. All of these things need to be happening. But the 7-year-old is the symptom, not the sickness.
I think that there's a really key component here, which, look, I'm totally on your side as listener, as someone who is envious and hateful. And I'm sure I hate a 7-year-old. It's one thing, yes, your dad should be more involved with your son, 100%. That doesn't mean he should be uninvolved in his wife's daughter's kid. You would hope a good guy would take on his wife's children as his own. Now, that should not be at the expense of your children, but before you had your child, that is his grandson. That woman's.
That's right.
Just because they're not related by blood, it doesn't matter.
You're right. That's a great point. One has nothing to do with the other.
Right.
And I think it's easier for him to assume the role of this incredible grandfather because there's love there because that is the family that's intact. You are the lame little arm. I get this feeling of the family that was rejected. He hurt your mother financially. She's still dealing with the ramifications of that divorce. He hurt your mother, which will hurt you forever. You can't undo those mistakes, but what we have to remember as daughters is that our fathers are still men and they're not infallible and they make mistakes. All people do. But like your father is still a man that has sex, has complicated relationships. Like he's your dad. But before he was your dad, he was just a guy doing guy things. And it doesn't take away from how much he loves you. And I think he's having trouble showing it because men tend to, when there's resistance, especially from a strong woman, at least this is my experience, they get embarrassed and they retreat. And so they go where the warmth is. Now, that's not fair to you because you're like, but you created this mistake. But now you're the person writing in that has to like live in this reality. So the question is, how do you want it to be going forward? I think you take your dad on a walk and you say, I need to get this off my chest. And you don't say it. You don't scream. You're not angry. You just come from a place of vulnerability and being hurt. And I think doing that, well, at least you will have been heard. And if he continues to act this way, then you know that your dad's actually just a piece of shit. But I think you give him the opportunity to right those wrongs. And you say to him, like, Mom has no money. She gave us a crib. You gave us a bathrobe, Dad. And I also want to point out something. He has the benefit of having a woman in his life. By the way, your dad didn't pick out those gifts. The stepmom did. And so when it comes to you, it's a shame that the stepmom the mistress didn't step in to say, hey, you know what she would probably love is something useful. Yeah. But she's probably like, oh, this girl hates me anyway. So like you're kind of at this standstill because no one really wants to help anyone because you're so upset, which you are entitled to be. But you have to make the decision. How can I put my best foot forward to make this better for my kid? I'm sorry, it's for your kid, right? For my kid and for myself moving forward. And maybe it might take, the woman that your dad cheated with, like that's not a good look for anyone, but she might really love your dad. She may not be a giant bitch. They're going to be together for a while and have been. Maybe it's time you get to know her a little bit better than just as that woman. And you don't have to be her best friend, but maybe you can build on like starting now because you are the only one paying the price for this mess that he made.
Yeah. And create space for your dad and your son to bond outside of financial obligation. Like, are they I bet he's just spending more time with that other grandkid because they're at the house.
That's right. And so get it all out there. Maybe there's something your dad wants to say. Maybe, wouldn't you rather, you would want to give your dad a chance to be like, yeah, I fucked up and I feel so bad. Or he's like, no, I just love this family and not you. But either way, you deserve to know where you stand. And I'm sure he will cop to some of it. It's not uncommon for a dad or a man to make a big mess and then the women are the ones left in the wake. But you have the opportunity to take back some of this power. And so it might be a little bit painful, but it might pay off in the long run if you can just have these conversations.
Mm-hmm.
Bathrobe. It's such a cute idea. And then you're like, cool, he didn't want to put his arms in it. And now he outgrew it a week later.
Wait, how long? You get him out of the bath, you put him in the bathrobe for how long to let him relax before you switch him into clothes?
You basically want to wipe them off as quickly. They hate being cold. And then you put them right in their pajamas. But I will tell you, when I was on tour in Europe, this one hotel gave Sierra like a little baby bathrobe. And I was like, I will post about you forever. Like this is a
so
luxurious baby in like little baby slippers. Oh my God. Little Eloise in the Plaza Hotel. Oh my God.
All right, luxury. Top of the cob.
It's the top of the cob. You're doing it right every day. You just take a bite. Top of the cob.
My top of the cob is I don't put sugar in my coffee. But Noah had done this like slightly sweetened whipped cream for a recipe he had to test. And he has like all this homemade whipped cream in like a deli container. So I took a big scoop of it and I put it in my coffee and I added milk and I mixed it up and I drank it. I hate to say, and it hit because it makes me just sound like an old person that's like, hey, cool teens. It hit in a very specific way. It tasted exactly like Haagen-Dazs coffee ice cream. Which is usually your first, at least if you are a millennial, your first context for what coffee tastes like is that ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't had it in so long. And it was just a flavor from my childhood. And I was like, oh my God, this is what coffee's supposed to taste like. And it was just this nostalgic thing. And because I just usually do half and half, but like of course it tastes like Haagen-Dazs because there was so much cream and sugar in this coffee. But it was a very specific coffee taste.
Yeah.
I told it to Noah and he said that his dad always says he likes his coffee like melted Haagen-Dazs. And I was like, that's exactly what this tasted like. Anyways, it was just it almost tasted like coffee flavoring. And that's how coffee should be, just a ton of milk. And it just felt good for a second because my dad always bought coffee. It was a very late 80s thing to have like Haagen-Dazs coffee.
Yeah.
And then my dad always had like Java chip and like all these like very early 90s, like Javista, Hot Joe, JavaScript flavors. And I was like, who wants Java chocolate? Blech. That, Haagen-Dazs, yes, JavaScript. That's my top of the cob.
All right. The fan top of the cob is related to my top of the cob last week. Hi, Liza and crew. I was just listening to a live episode and had a piggyback top of the cob to Emily's about Law and Order SVU being on in her hotel room. My top is related, but a little delayed. Now, I had to share this one because the way that it bests mine in every way, all right?
Okay.
Back in November, I welcomed my baby girl into the world. When I was in labor and admitted to the hospital at 3 a.m., I couldn't sleep for obvious reasons, so I turned on the TV, and there it was, the start of a middle-of-the-night Law and Order SVU marathon. Total win, and one of the more laughable parts of my birth story. Baby girl was born 12 hours later. Best, Ursula.
It's funny to like bring a baby girl into this world like while you're watching like a trauma story about a sexual assault victim.
And Finn Tutuola is like,
hey, you got 10 gigs of women's butts on this phone.
Women's butts. Yeah, porn.
Yeah.
What's your top?
My top is, the live show was so great. What I thought was really interesting, look, the fans are great, et cetera. You're also nice. But I thought it was so interesting to be on stage with you, Iliza, because I've seen you perform a million times. But to see the effortless way in which you like keep things moving. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think when you and I talk here, it's funny, but it's a different kind of conversation maybe than when you were engaging the audience in it in a way that was like very welcoming and inviting, but also you had total control over the flow of the show. It was just so like fascinating from an anthropological standpoint to see it from the other side. And I was like, I'm just in my little chair like, oh, like it was
professional.
This is your job or something. It was just really cool. I really liked getting to see that. So it was fun.
It's like I'm at Olive Garden. I feel so taken care of. Well, thank you. That's very sweet. It's one thing to have fans like you, but when you actually have the adoration and admiration of your friends who are not required to be fans, that always means a little bit more. So thank you. My bottom of the cob is looking more scattered than I am. I'm a pretty, not meticulous, but a pretty organized person, and I travel pretty lightly. I was running my hour last night at the Ice House, and so some of my friends came. It's always the same friends you see on my Instagram. It was my buddy Waz, my friend Jamie, and her friend, but I guess my friend too, MK Ultra. And they came over, and I was like still getting ready. It's just that thing where like normally I just grab my keys and my wallet. I don't carry a purse, and we just get in the car. But it was like one of those dreams where like you cannot get to class. Like you have to keep doing stuff. I was like, we have to take the kids' car seat out. Okay. All right, let's go. Oh, I didn't fill and like all the things that I naturally do. Like I always fill up a water. I always get my keys. I always get my lip gloss and I go. And I was like, I forgot my water. Okay. Oh my God. No, I have to repair the garage. Oh, I forgot this one. Oh no, I didn't get. And I kept running back in and forgetting stuff. And it looked like I was this like quirky like mom that like just can't get it. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Sometimes like when other people, like when Noah's in the car, I'm the worst driver. Other than that, like never had an accident, flawless driver. I parallel park with my fucking eyes closed. But when he's in the car, he's like, you can't be in the intersection. I'm like, I know the rules, but if you weren't here, I'd be doing great. Just the pressure of other people being there, even though I perform like an hour plus of stand-up comedy flawlessly. Someone else in the kitchen, I was like, oh, I forgot my keys. I just don't like looking scattered because they're like, whoa, take a deep breath. I'm like, I would if you weren't here. I'm getting my stuff.
Yeah. My bottom, I feel like it's going to look, I don't know. I think that this is going to be a weirdly divisive one. I was really shocked and saddened by the death of Shannon Doherty today.
Oh my God, she died?
Of cancer,
I thought she died. I saw somebody post something and I was like, oh yeah, Shannon Doherty. And Richard Simmons and almost Donald Trump.
And Shelley Duvall. That's
the third.
That's the third.
Shannon Doherty. Yeah.
When you talk about celebrity deaths, I think it's very easy to be like, well, but there are a million people you don't know who are dead. There are a million, but I think she just launched, I think she's a figure that, she was labeled difficult very early on in her career, and whether or not that's
probably
true.
Wasn't. Yeah.
I think that a lot of that was that she was a woman that wanted control over her career in a time when in teen shows, women were very much pitted against each other, especially. And she's been doing this podcast where she kind of shares her side of things, where she talks to all these people that she has wonderful relationships with, that she's had relationships with for decades, exes, like people that can speak to her true character. And she literally last week announced that she'd be doing a rewatch podcast of Charm, meaning that this was very unexpected. And I don't know her, but I think it was just one of those ones where I was like, what a horrible, it's terrible. And it's, I feel like you could say, well, Emily didn't speak about any other current event and now Shannon Doherty. And it's like, that's what gets me. But I think it just is one of those things where you don't think that it's going to affect you. Like my mom texted me like, Shelley Duvall's dead. And I'm like, okay, thanks, Mom. And this I saw and was like, oh, no.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, like she's an entertainer and you were entertained by her. You watched her shows. I don't know if you watched Beverly Hills 90210, but you didn't grow up with Shelley Duvall in the way that you grew up with Shannon Doherty. And that's okay. And it's kind of celebrities are popular to different people for different reasons because they represent art that speaks to us in different ways. You can't mourn everyone. It's always sad when someone dies. Not always. People are heartbroken about Richard Simmons, like you grow up with these things. They are a part of your pop culture makeup and your nostalgia, which is such a powerful thing. We all cried when Robin Williams died. I know I'm not allowed to, but like I cried when Michael Jackson died. I know that you like were like, whatever, but like, I'm sorry. Man in the Mirror was the first song I ever learned. And it was in the back of my dad's like Lincoln. Like, so that is sad, and that is compounded by the fact that I think she thought she had more time and then to abruptly die like that. Or That's a great way to go out, is to be like, and I'll be on tour and a lot of things coming. And like, you're dying. Like, just leave them wanting more. The ultimate entertainer experience. That is sad. Well, that's a great bottom of the cob.
Well, we have a fan bottom to bring the mood back. Hi, AI crew. My bottom of the cob happened this morning while I was working, watching my sweet dog sleep. I must have had something that did not agree with my stomach because I farted so loudly that I woke up my dog from a deep sleep, and she looked at me terrified like something bad was about to happen. I felt bad because she had that look of, Mom, are we okay? Next time I will leave the room so I don't disturb her sleep and continue to traumatize her. Thanks for all the laughs and wisdom, Katie.
Katie, something bad was about to happen because that noxious odor hadn't hit his nose of the, I don't know, burrito you found in your car or whatever. Yeah, farts take a second and it's like, what did you do? Like, I'm sorry, I had onions.
And that dog is just like, Mother? No.
Folks, so we're going to be doing more video. I will be putting on a little bit of mascara, trying to make this do what it can. It's not an OnlyFans page, but it's something for you to look at.
So follow us at Ask Iliza. Follow on Instagram to see the video.
Recruit your friends. We always want hot new questions. We always love having our minds blown by new types of questions. Download the Sirius app to watch these videos, right, in their entirety, or just the one we recorded live will be full on Sirius. We will have details for that if we have not already shared them by the time you're listening. Clips, I will just be cutting and posting from this file. And we will be doing more of these live shows. We had an incredible response. We're doing it. And I don't know if we're going to replace Emily with someone more diverse, or we'll just maybe just a 2x4, but we will be doing more of those, and we very much look forward to it. You can get your tickets to see me. I am so excited to be doing this new hour. I'm recording it in the fall in Salt Lake City. It's going to be incredible. It's probably the best hour I've ever done. It is lean, mean. Tickets at iliza.com/tour. I know I'll see you guys out there. And remember, it's not who you love, it's
what you love. Like a cat.
Incorrect. Stay tuned.